Yes, you are. Beautiful.
When's your first regional?
It's not till November.
What do we got? Brisbane?
Yeah.
I was just guessing. I just
It
named
is
like an
Brisbane.
Australian city.
Well, you called it. It is Brisbane. How many Australian cities do you know?
Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney,
Yep.
Adelaide.
Yep.
Is there another big one I'm missing? Probably.
Yeah. There's basically.
I think those are the
like
big, like
big
four,
cities,
right?
And then a few reasonably big cities. They're like we've got very few cities.
Which one am I missing?
Perth. Perth is the
Oh,
big
Perth,
one.
yeah. I know about it, but when I think Australia, I think like obviously Sydney like is like the big one everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
And then like the other ones are a bit smaller, like everyone knows the Opera House, you know, like
Yeah. Sydney and Melbourne are the two big ones.
Yeah.
And Brisbane is like a very close third. And then Adelaide all the way down in fifth.
Yo, what's up, SS Thorn? Welcome in.
For those who are watching the VOD, just your regular reminder, this the first 10-15 minutes of the stream is usually just banter to let people file in. For anyone who is watching live at the moment, we do rely on your input to drive a lot of this conversation. So feel free to make suggestions, comments, whatever you feel like will help the conversation and help others to learn this meta.
Yeah, say something. Say something nice.
Yeah. I mean, something nice about me, but you can be as mean to Lyle as you want. He can take it.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, you're really good at taking like trolls, right?
Surely.
So, all right, here is what I am thinking of at the moment for my regionals team. I'm gonna reveal this.
Well, I saw you did the practice tournament.
As in made the next one. As in like.
Well, you did a practice. Well, I saw like some of the teams you're running.
Oh, okay, yeah. So.
In some of the practice tournaments.
The one that I had in the most recent tournament, I think, is the one I've still got. So it's the A/, Umbreon, Azumarill, Charjabug, Charizard, and Venusaur.
A/ what?
So A/, Umbreon,
Azumarill, Charizard,
Shadowzard, Shadowveen, and Charjabug.
Interesting.
Hello, hey.
Pardon?
Saying hi to Angels of Palo. Welcome in.
Interesting team. Azu's weird, I think.
Yeah, I like it mainly because it's such a hard wall to Umbreon and to Zard. And I've got it with Hydro Pump to be able to handle like A/slashes a little better.
Hydro Pump, huh?
And
that is interesting.
And be a bit better against Registeel.
What Registeel?
I mean, it's still there.
It's around.
It's around. It's hanging around. Hydro and Play Rough. It helps.
I don't know about that. I just think like I don't know. I don't like that moveset.
It's tough.
It's okay. It's like Azu's already slow. And then if you get rid of Ice Beam, it's like even slower. Like 3 times 6, so 18 turns to the first charge move. It's like an eternity, but
yeah,
I mean it's good coverage. It's good coverage, but it's
so I do like Swampert there, and I would like to replace Azu with Swampert. Then I am I mean, I'm still pretty good against Charizard.
Swamper's better against most things, I would say.
Against most everything. Umbreon is a bit of a bigger problem. Like, all I've got for Umbreon at that point is Charger Bug, which isn't even that great. And I guess the Shadow Beam. But yeah, both aren't that great. The Azu, like, actually walls it. SS Storm
I think
is asking if you are ready for Toronto.
Do I have my team ready? No, not yet. I mean, I have, I'm still testing stuff out, basically. It's, I'm going to try probably something interesting this Sunday at our challenge and see, but, the team I'm running, teams I've been running have been a little different. Like, I had a team that I kind of liked, and then I faced one like Power Up Metacham, and I was like, oh shit. Like, so I didn't want to have 3 things weak to fighting, just in case, because like Licky can handle Medi, even Dynamic Punch, but if you face like a Pup variant, it can be really devastating. Some people do like Pup.
I learned the hard way at Worlds that Licky handles Pup Medi fine. It's the Dynamic Punch Medi that is the problem. Like, you can still...
No, because you just double shield. Licky still wins the 2s.
You don't want to double shield if you can avoid it.
But
right?
you can still win that matchup if you double shield. You cannot, no matter how many shields you have, you're not going to beat Pop Medi if they want to win alignment. And by the time they're done with you, they're already... Yeah, but by the time they're done with you, they're like mega ramped up, and they win alignment, and it's just like... You can, like, you're shielding Pups. Like shielding a Dynamic Punch is like, okay.
Yeah, I hear you. I tried it in Worlds, and it just, like, the fact that, like, if I one switch, and then they safe swap to Licky, my team already...
Wait, did you run Pop Medi at Worlds?
Yeah.
The fuck? You crazy, dude.
Well, yeah, it did. I know it didn't go well for me in the end, did it?
I doubt it was a Pop Medi, but...
Well, my whole team was a bit weak against safe swap Licky, and we knew that going in, but like in practice battles, I worked out ways around it just fine. But
you have your own Licky, right?
I didn't at the time.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Ooh, going to Worlds this year without a Licky? You crazy, bro. You should have brought an Umbreon. Look at what's his face? Rubik's Master.
Yeah.
Get that ums.
I learned some things.
Yeah, you're a pro now.
Yeah. Now I'm all over it. Like this year I wasn't ready. Next year I'll be like you're speaking to the 2024 World Champ.
Yeah, you only need 300 points, right? So you go to a couple regionals, you do well. You need to get some like locals going in your area, possibly.
So with our system, with the opportunities we have, and then the points that we need from those opportunities, I need to, if I'm able to go to all 3 of our regionals, I need to come at least top 8, which doesn't sound too hard. If I miss one, then that means I have to come at least top 2 in the remaining.
Just win 1.
That's all you have to do.
Well, like I said, hopefully they get some local events for you, because there's a lot of points to be had at those things.
Yeah.
Like, you can get 50 points from winning a cup, and you can do up to 6 of those. So, like, you basically don't even have to attend a regional in Australia. If you win 6 cups, you automatically are qualified for Worlds. So,
is there a minimum number of players that a
4
cup has to have? Okay, I think I can scrounge 4 players together in Adelaide.
Yeah, it's like doable, and but you just need to. So the people that can host those are the people that have the VGC,
like professors.
or Pokemon Go professors. The TCG professors can host the Go Cups.
Okay.
So you just gotta find a store that's hosting like VGC stuff, and then like or whatever, or maybe they have the credentials, and then you can like try to talk them into like hosting that for Go potentially. Right now we have 2 in my area, sort of, that are hosting cups. The one near me there's one downtown that's like kind of insanely competitive. So it's fun. It's good practice, but it's like tough sledding if you're relying on winning that every time, because like last time I went there was like 15 people there, and there's one in Markham. It's like a challenge. You should come to that one. Athy was there last time, and unfortunately I lost to him, and he had a pretty good team comp for me. He had the pup Medi, and I had a 2-shielded Lickitung, and it didn't matter. So, yeah, I like I said, I played it pretty well, but my only lose con in some of those, the one game was if he had pup, I'm gonna lose, and he had pup. So, let me see if there's any other. There's also one in Barrie that I did once, because it's like kind of close to my parents' house. It's like about an hour drive for me. So, but like I'll just basically like my excuse is like if there is one event going on there, my excuse is like I'm just gonna go like visit my parents essentially, right? Like any excuse you have to do that is fine. So
here's an extra obstacle I have to deal with. When they do announce locals for Australia, that will enable me to get the points that I need to qualify for Worlds, but only top 2 in the Oceania region get the travel award, and the Melbourne scene and the Sydney scenes are so much bigger than Adelaide. So they will have much more opportunity to get themselves.
Well, you can only max out on 6 cups and challenges. So if you're able to get to 6 of each over from now till next Worlds, which hopefully is possible, because they can host 1 challenge a month per store. So if you can try to find one or more stores, like if you can even find 1 store, you're guaranteed at least 6 challenges, right? And that's 15 times. If you win the 6, that's 15 points each. Times 6 is what, like I don't even know, 90 or something.
Yeah, well, like I said, it'll be fine for getting the required amount of points. It's just that if I want to be in that top 2 in the country,
well, travel award is going to be very difficult. For me, because like the thing is, I'm not gonna there's people in North America that are gonna max out on regionals. They're gonna go to more than 6, so that means they're probably gonna have pretty decent placement in 6 regionals, and they're gonna go to 2. Yeah, like a lot of the people in North America and Europe that are gonna get the travel awards are gonna go to both ICs.
Yeah,
they're gonna go to Europe and North America IC, and I even know some people that are going to South America IC.
Wow.
So imagine you could basically, if you're a Go player in North America and you can afford to go to all 3 ICs and like actually do decent, you're basically guaranteed a travel award. Like, I mean, you have to pay to go to the IC, so like, is it really worth grinding that hard for the travel award? I don't know.
Risk. At best, you're coming out even. You're paying for that trip to another country to play an IC, and at best you can hope to earn a travel award to get you to Worlds, which is like
I'm just focused on 500. All I need is 500 points and I qualify for Worlds. I'm not necessarily worried about the travel award. The travel to Hawaii is like way more reasonable than it was for Japan.
Yeah,
like I looked at some prices and it was like it's gonna cost me like $700-800 for like a plane ticket to Hawaii. Okay, like it cost me almost $3,000 to fly to Japan. Because I booked so late. But
that's true.
Luckily, I was able. Like my parents helped me with a little bit of that because they wanted to let me experience that. And luckily, with my finalists in Pittsburgh, was able to recoup a little bit of that money. So. Because the prizes this year, also the prize pool this year is friggin' ridiculous. So like if you do win a regional or come like top 2, like let's say you top cut in a couple regionals, that's all, like you can almost pay for a trip to Worlds with that.
Yeah, almost. I mean, it's minus the travel money you've already spent getting there. So like for me, going to Brisbane, like that costs $600-700. So like that, I've got to take that
US
out.
dollars or Australian dollars?
Australian. So it's probably like $13.
So like $6 American or something.
But
well, it's like second place. So for second place, you got $2,000 US.
Yeah. So it's worth
That's like it's really good money. So,
all right.
Okay, we're into it now. We're into it. We're done. We're done talking about that. We're back. Oh, look at that.
But yeah, we are here for a reason. So,
Carbank is back again.
Yes. But there are options, I think, to counter this thing. Like,
I mean, it's got a pretty high rating.
One of your favorites is here.
What is my favorite? Shadow Sizor?
Yeah.
It does counter it, but it's like there's still situations where it could get dicey, right? Because like neutral rock throws.
So what's a rock throw?
And like this is a baiting scenario. You're baiting in this matchup too.
So what happens if you go straight Ironhead? I mean, you could just like your bullet punches are doing more as a percentage than their rock throws. So if worse comes to worse,
you technically don't even need to Ironhead. Like eventually you get them into like Night Slash range.
Yeah, just go straight Night Slash.
Look at if they shield an Ironhead, they can get you down to like 15 HP in the ones.
Which like is fine. Like
I mean, you win alignment, it's good. And like for sure, if there's like shields down end game, like Ironhead does 75%. Like it's gonna fucking smoke this thing. Like you're gonna blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
But it's just annoying that that this the Carbank can just kind of outbulk you and just with the neutral rock throw damage. Like a rock throw is doing almost 6% to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane. So I mean, I do like Sizor though. I used it a lot last time this cup was around because it also has play into like Mandibuzz. You have play in the Mandibuzz.
See if that's any different. Bullet punch
like
doing
substantially
5.6.
lower.
I mean, you're still doing more damage with the bullet punches. In the zero shields, the Carbink has that all locked up. So, like, the regular Sizor does have to shield at least once.
Shadow Sizor just... I don't know, maybe this time will be different since of the Carbink, but last time I was running X-Scissor Night Slash.
Oh yeah, and X-Scissor's gotten buffed this season too. So
yeah, like because
has the one-shot potential against the gold, not the Golbat, the Carbink.
Carbink, yeah. Yo, what's up, Warrior J Mac? Welcome in.
And
it has the one shot, but like you have a much more like consistent matchup with some of the dark types and such. If you have X-Scissor, right? Like and like Mandibuzz, things like that. Like I bet you that really helps with like those like neutral matchups. Like see, it's like a 430 run battle rating here, but if we put on X-Scissor, not Trailblaze, X-Scissor, let's see if that changes it. It says 420 actually. Maybe maybe
given Trailblaze.
Yep.
That could be interesting.
If you want Trailblaze.
I mean, if you want to make that match up against Carbink a little bit better, like ramp up your bullet punches.
X-Scissor doesn't really help against Mandibuzz, it looks like. But probably definitely Umbreon it would help against. For sure, because you're losing technically to Umbreon.
Yeah.
With Ironhead, but with X-Scissor, you're winning that now. So there's definitely some pros and cons. Yeah, it's 6 to X-Scissor for sure. It's a little bit more energy, but it's like also like a really good move right now too, and it's stab. So like it's like a stab surf clone, right? So I don't know. It depends what I guess your team.
I thought it was better than
Yeah. No, I think it's Surf.
that. So I've got Fury and Marwal up here right now, and that is like looking real good for the Marwal. I
Well,
mean,
no
you're
shit.
resisting everything.
You just
And
you get to those iron heads like so quickly.
I mean, Iron Head only does 56%. That's from a regular though. What about Shadow? Power up, player.
Let's see what other fairy we have here. Yeah, yeah, we have Mawwell at 25. Loses to like a lot of the poison
66%.
types, obviously. Shadow Mawwell, like Toxapex, it gets destroyed by, which is going to be, I think, fairly common. I mean, last time this cup was here, I remember Toxapex was like the best Pokemon from what I remember.
I have seen some people commenting already about how much Toxapex they've seen
In what?
in this Halloween Cup.
But it hasn't started yet.
It's already live, I believe.
Huh?
Isn't it
League
live?
changes on Friday.
What
are you talking about?
What the heck were these guys saying?
Maybe they're doing practice with people for like
maybe that's it. I don't know.
Like just like scrimming with people, but like the team I ran last time, which I don't think it would really work as well this time, but it was like a really strong team. It was Mandibuzz, Sizer, and Toxapex.
Is Mandibuzz
Shout out
going to be
Sizer.
as good this time around?
I mean, you just have Carbink. Other than that, it's like super good. Like it's like it does well into a lot of things.
I don't think you can dismiss the Carbink though. I think that's going to be like
Yeah, it's going to be
everywhere.
RPS with Carbink, but like you got the Aerial Ace buff, right? So like
Yeah.
like you can beat Frostlass. It says here you barely lose the Charjabug.
Mm.
You have a neutral matchup with Toxapex. It's really just the two fairies that you have to worry about, which
Hey, Sadie.
I mean I guess you have to figure out a way to avoid them.
Mm.
I have a what do you call it? Galarian Moltres now too. So I was thinking of trying to figure out a way to slide that in here somewhere.
That's do not try this at home, kids.
No?
That's that's purely I'm already legend and I have nothing to lose. I'm already on the leaderboards and I don't care
Where
anymore.
is it here? Well,
So-
it's down to only 52. It's not the worst. Like, what do you beat here? You beat Mandibuzz. See, you beat other Mandibuzz. You beat Golbat, Venusaur, which you'll never see.
I'm sure it's got play. It's just a very high degree of difficulty.
You lose to Jellicent, no problem.
Hey Tyler
Angry-
and Hippopotamus.
Bomberger, that's another new one. It's also kind of glassy, but interesting with the fly.
Mm. That's water flying, isn't it?
No, it's dark flying.
Dark flying, cool.
I'm looking at dark types right now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to remember what I remember. Like Umbreon was super popular last time. I heard people talking about this one, potentially Pawniard.
Yeah, Pawniard's very good. Does
Because
lose to
it
Carbink,
also-
though.
It also has Iron Head, right?
Yeah.
So this is without Iron Head. This is Night/X Scissor. Like I feel like with Iron Head you would be able to beat Carbink.
Yeah, you surely.
Yeah, you destroy it pretty well. It's actually a better matchup than Sizer because you're like bulkier.
Which is
and
weird to say.
You have the steel typing, but you're dark instead of bug, right? So it's resisting the rock throws. According to this, you lose the zeros, which makes sense because Moonblast does 56% or so. It's neutral, right?
Yeah, and the Iron Head's not taking you out. It's resisting the Fury Cutters, so you really hard to farm that down.
How about Grimer?
Grimer. Yeah, with the Mud Bomb.
Oh, I think he's talking about the. I don't think
Kanto.
other Grimer is eligible.
Isn't
I
Poison
think
allowed?
it's. Oh, maybe it is. Let's see. I thought it was just dark, but oh yeah, you're right. Poison's loud. The other one is it looks okay. I feel like the dark typing is nice.
So like, you'd prefer
For,
the
like-
Alolan. Well, I think Warrior's talking about specifically for the Carbink matchup. Which I guess, like, we can't. We got to be wary of Carbink, and we got to make sure we can handle it, but we shouldn't, like, focus all of our attention on that one Pokemon, because not every team's going to have it.
So according to this, the Shadow Grammar is interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently all Grammars lose to Carbink, according to this. So there's that. Keep that in mind.
That's all in the one shields, isn't it?
Probably.
Ooh, Counter Toxie. That's an interesting one.
Counter what?
Counter Toxicroak.
What else would you run on Toxicroak?
That's a reasonable question. I
See
should
what other
definitely
poison we
turn
got.
that off.
A lot of good poisons here. Like we have, like Golbat is very highly ranked. And I remember
Poison
also some people were running return on their Golbat in this meta before
Why?
for the dark types.
Okay.
So you could actually like nuke something like a dark poison, right? Because like you get walled by other dark poison types, and like Mandibuzz is super awkward for Golbat because you just have to rely on the Poison Fang damage, right? But then
Yeah, it makes
it's
sense.
worse against Ghosts, so it's kind of like a trade-off.
Well, look, I think Dark's going to be a lot more common than Ghost in this meta.
Well, if there's a lot of poison jabbers, like if there's a lot of Toxapex,
Yeah.
it makes you think that like Jellicent might have some play too,
That'll
right?
improve
Especially with
that, yeah.
Carbink. Like if there's Toxapex and Carbink running around, like Jellicent seems like a nice sort of piece that can slide in there and has like quite a lot of play, right?
And Lachlan is asking Rock Throw on Carbink or Tackle.
I think you definitely want Rock Throw.
Because of all the steals, or sorry, the steel bugs. I mean, or
So like typically like super bulky Pokemon like that just work better with fast move if they have fast move pressure.
I think
like
tackle is better in like a fighting heavy meta. So like where Metacham and Poliwrath are high, then you'd probably want tackle there. Yeah, in this meta, Rock Throw sounds better.
Yeah, like you're gonna face the odd like Nidoqueen or something, but I feel like having tackle isn't gonna necessarily flip that matchup for you. So in general, like the Rock Throw is just like kind of oppressive. Looking to see other poison types here.
Wow, there is a Hex breakpoint on Jellicent against Carbink. So you do win the 0s and 2s against Carbink with that breakpoint.
But like I would just assume people are running really high ranked Carbinks, and you need 107 attack to get the Hex breakpoint, and like a default Jellicent here has only 106 attack. So like you're running like you're literally running like a research breakthrough Jellicent or something. Like you're like, this is like Vigoroth mirror level.
I mean, so 107.73 to guarantee. So we've got 107.3 here. 107.9. So you only need 6 attack. This one's a rank 430. It's not bad.
Yeah, you could get something like, yeah, probably close to that,
But
sort
then,
of.
look, I think the rank 1 is beating it in the zeros and twos anyway. I don't think that's actually... Yeah, you're still winning in the
Yeah,
zeros and twos, so yeah, just get the highest bulk one that you can.
and Carbink is like I said, people are going to be running the bulky Carbanks, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't built a Carbink yet. I probably won't, but maybe I'll try for this meta if it's like less RPS in this meta,
Mm.
which it does look like it possibly is, since it only takes neutral from poison, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be more of like neutral matchups potentially. Like its hardest losses are basically like Nidoqueen and Greninja.
I like the thought of Nidoqueen here.
Yeah, Nidoqueen does look really strong.
Mm. You gotta watch out for
Nidoqueen
the
looks
Jellicent.
very. Yep, Jellicent is rank 6 here, but as you can see, there's a lot of poison, which makes sense. But you also have your Greninja, your Dark
Mm.
types, your Mandibuzz here. Sizer can hit back against Jellicent too.
I mean, Shadow Nidoqueen beats Greninja in the ones.
Yeah, a lot of things beat Greninja because it's like super glossy. Like I played
Yeah.
that Greninja Cup, and like things that beat Greninja are like Shadow Steelix beats Greninja.
Yeah, right. So anything with fast move pressure.
Fast move pressure, ability to debuff, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Hydreigon does a one shot of Shadow Nidoqueen. It says here it beats it. Are you talking regular Nidoqueen or Shadow Nidoqueen?
I was talking Shadow, but that's in the one shields, right? Not the zeros.
This is the ones.
Yeah, so I imagine a Hydro Cannon would take it out.
Hydreigon does 103%.
Yeah.
So you really you have to two shield through it, and I don't even know if you can do that.
I keep on reading this wrong. I was reading that as a win for Nidoqueen.
He's clueless, guys. He's clueless. Yeah, Greninja's going to be popular. I know some people that are very hyped on Greninja. Some people that I know that have been team building and stuff, they've been trying to find like a team around like Greninja and Nidoqueen core.
I mean, yeah, it's just super fun. Not that great, but super fun.
Because like Greninja is weak to what, like grass and electric and fighting, sort of like whatever. And then you have Nidoqueen, which is like a poison type and also a ground type. So you sort of have like good synergy there. But if you are running that core, I would strongly suggest you have a Greninja that there's zero fighting basically, but there is electric. So if I go fighting, we have Sneasler. You do have Toxicroak, so you might see the odd Toxicroak depending. I think Toxicroak is viable because of the Mud Bomb. Like, for electric, yeah, you have Charjabug and Galv. Last time, Galv was actually pretty good in this meta. I mean, it's only ranked 74. Maybe it's dropped lower because of maybe it's dropped lower because of like Carbink usage. But last time I used Galv in this meta, and it was really strong, especially with like Lunge Discharge. And Charjabug now ranked 21, like it's very good. Grass types, I mean, you have grass, but it might not be that common. Like Venusaur here, Trav is probably not that good, but Venusaur could be interesting.
Charjabug Greninja Core, which has been talked about by a few content creators in Open Great League. That's looking pretty good. Like, there are 18 things that beat both, and like the only hard win out of any of those is Sylveon against Greninja. But like, you're not going to see any Sylveons. So like,
I mean, you might see a Sylveon.
I'll see one Sylveon, and I'll send you a screenshot. That'll be it for the week.
I can't wait.
What about Shadow Vic? I mean, that's a strat. It's a thing you can do. Of all the strats in Halloween Cup, that's one of them.
Shadowvic is a strategy. You can use that strategy
Technically,
if you want to
you
try
can do.
if you want to try and succeed. Not sure how good it will work in Halloween Cup, but in Open Great League, people seem to like it. So who am I to tell them not to do it, right?
What do you think of Guzzlord?
I mean, a dragon seems interesting. It's, and a dark dragon, so you're resisting a lot of the other dark type moves. You do have the issue of getting walled by the fairies, but I do think it's very interesting.
So could you go Guzzlord double poison? I mean, the Nitto double dark was a huge thing for a long time. I'm sure it could also work here.
Yeah, I mean, dark double poison. That was the very first time I hit Legend was running dark double poison in Great League Remix. So that team was Sableye, Dragalge, Shadow Nidoqueen. So I definitely think it is feasible for you to try something like that. Yeah, Sludge Bomb, Thorn. Yes, Sludge Bomb will help you defeat the Carbink. Surely.
I think he is talking about against the fairies.
Yeah, Carbink is a fairy.
Yeah, that is a good point. Just like fairies in general.
Okay, well, I really don't think there's going to be that many of them, to be honest with you.
I mean, what other fairies are there? I think
there's Azu, but like again, these things are so when there's going to be so much Toxapex and things like that. Like I remember facing some Azu, but it's like super risky, dude. Like Carbink at least takes neutral from poison, right? So you have like a fighting chance in some of those matchups. But like, what are you gonna do? Like with Azu, like it just seems so risky.
I mean,
so Fable does have Meteor Mash, but it that doesn't help it against Toxapex. So I mean, I know some people like Clefable, but I think it's
looking like the best fairy to use then, or Marwell, or maybe Galarian Weezing.
Yeah, they have subtypings, right?
Yeah,
which helps them, and like I said, Carbink at least has coverage against the poisons. Mawile has a little bit of coverage, but you lose coverage against some of the like the poisons that have a subtyping, like the resist steel, right?
Oh wow, the Mawile not doing well against Shadow Queen, and only barely beating Golbat.
Golbat seems like it would be sort of like a baiting Pokemon type thing, right? Like they're gonna bait you with some poison fangs.
Yeah.
And then like unload some,
I mean, this
whatever.
one's straight Shadow Ball.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this particular sim.
Okay, well then, that seems like a little more believable then.
But yeah, if it goes straight Shadow Ball in the ones, Mawile just scrapes out of that alive with 1 HP. But that is a rank 1. Like, how many people have a rank 1? No, that is a rank 194. Interesting.
Rank 1 what? Mawile?
Yeah, well, no, rank 194 apparently.
I mean, Mawile has been in the wild a couple times, so I mean, I wouldn't. People probably have like a decent one by now. I think the one I built for Great League was traded to me, and I built it for like a Silph Cup or something. Fire Fang Mawile went pretty ham for me.
Oh,
I think
you'd run it with Fire Fang.
Oh, I was saying in that Silph Cup it did.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Literally, like, I remember, like, I was like, this game's over. I lost. And I'm thinking, like, the only thing I can beat in there's only one Pokemon he can have in the back that I beat, and it was a Ferrothorn. And I was like double pup boosted, and I just like Fire Fanged it down before it even got to like a charge move.
Wow.
It was pretty hilarious. Felt bad for that guy.
So Wolfman says with Psychic you wouldn't get caved in. I still think you actually don't do that well. Like against a Toxapex. Can't they can easily tank a Psychic, and then can't they like farm you down before you get to a second one?
Yeah. I don't think it's... I mean, it definitely has some potential there, I guess. But like you always... The thing with Clefable is you probably want Moonblast, because Moonblast is your like hard-hitting damage against things that you're supposed to beat, right?
Well, could you go without
Because
Meteor Mash then?
But then you're probably losing the Carbink. So then what's the point of running Clefable?
Yeah.
And like if you don't have Moonblast, you're gonna start like just struggling against things like Jellicent and other things like that in neutral situations, right?
Yeah.
So I do think it's interesting, but I would probably avoid it if possible.
Yeah, and basically Marwa's doing everything you want your Clefable to do.
I guess we'll have to see how the meta shakes out, but like maybe there's more of a room for fairies than I'm expecting. But like I just remember this cup last time, and it was like every team had Toxapex. There's like Shadow Sizers running everywhere because everyone's trying to counter Carbink, and if you're like a lesser fairy, you're just kind of like stuck in the middle, right?
So, hey, there are no lesser fairies, Lyle. You shut your mouth.
Then Carbink? Apparently all fairies are lesser according to PvPoke.
No fairy is lesser than another. All fairies are equal.
Justice for fairies? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Justice for fairies. It's about time they were heard. Marwa or Golbat? Looks decent.
Yeah, Marwa or Golbat. Don't also like worth noting when people are team building for this meta, like don't forget about the G-Gen squad that's out there. You have things like Shadow T-Tar that
yes.
people might bust out. So just keep that in mind.
Marwa should be able to handle that though, shouldn't it?
Yeah, Marwa does, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Definitely something to consider when you're team building. Sableye down here, 17. See, Shadow T-Tar with Smackdown is like 18.
Yeah.
It's pretty high up.
Yeah, you've got to be able to deal with that. I mean, Nidoqueen is a good, like they usually run Smackdown, right? Not Bite.
They usually do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember last time, like I would just play that matchup with Mandibuzz.
Oh,
like,
really?
It's actually closer than you would think. Like. Oh, they have Brutal Swing now, right. Before it was Crunch. And like the thing is, like a Dark Pulse does 33% to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you land a Dark Pulse, it's at like half health. Interesting.
Oh, I'd just be so scared to run Mandibuzz in a Carbink meta.
Well, it's the reason. I mean, it's going to be good into a lot of things, right? So.
I thought you were going to say, well, yeah, that's the reason you're still at 2400 fish.
Wait, are you still at 2400?
I was climbing with that Great League team, and then I just had a shit house day. I lost 150 points, and have to start that climb all over again.
Frostlass is another interesting one because, like, you are ghost subtyping, so you do resist poison, fast moves. You have the ability to fight back against like the dark types and the ghost types, right? And like you do lose the Carbink, but you at least are able to, like, unlike Mandibuzz, you can actually hit it with something, right? That like does decent damage. It's not a Basty, it doesn't resist ice.
DJ says Rockhole. So, DJ, how are you saying triple rock throw, triple smackdown, or like an ABB?
A rock hole is when you like have two rock holers in the back.
Yeah. Well, it could mean ABB or triple.
Typically, usually with the teams that I'm building these days, I try to avoid the like cookie cutter ABB strats if I can, because they're like sort of easily RPS. Potentially. You can get RPS by things, and you can also have a shared weakness, like a shared Pokemon weakness. But I don't like when they have like a complete typings like matching, because then like I don't know, it just becomes awkward. Like then if let's say you're playing at a neutral lead, you have to like swap out because you're worried about a back Pokemon, even though you have like maybe even a slightly positive lead. So it can be super awkward to play. I mean, it definitely works in GBL for the most part. But there's definitely lots of other team comps you can try to use in this meta for sure.
I agree that Golurk, like, I wish that was better. Like, it's such a unique Pokemon. We did also have someone mention Palisand, which is higher than Golurk by a fair way. Mudshot, Shadow Ball, Scorching Sands, that's basically, I think a bare minimum with whatever team you put together is you can't have two Pokemon weak to Carbink. You like, it's fine to have one Pokemon that gets walled by it, but like if you've got two, then you know you auto lose every time you face a Carbink.
Well, you can run them in the back, but you also don't want to be like the people that are running like Mandibuzz Sableye backline in like Open Great League. It's like, oh, so what? You're gonna draw this Carbink with your Sableye so they can farm to like 100 energy, and then what are you gonna do, right? Like, so I think if you do want to be baiting it out with something, you preferably want that Pokemon you're baiting it out with to have like at least decent play into it, right?
Yeah, totally.
You don't want to just be like full farm down potential, right? Possibly.
Yeah.
Houndstone, this is a new one, by the way.
Interesting, because it's got
Lick
Dig
and Psychic Fangs.
Yeah, so those poisons. I mean, Ghosts are already beating poisons, though, is your problem. Like,
you beat Azu, you barely beat Frostlass. Look, that's a pretty decent matchup with Carbink.
Right? Jellicent would beat Azu.
Yeah. And
Jellicent generally beats Frostlass, although that's much closer.
Jellicent, I'm not. It's bait dependent. It used to be that you have to bait with a Bubble Beam, but so I'm assuming nowadays you have to bait with a Surf. Yeah, because if you don't land a bait, then they just outpace you. Strictly outpace you. See?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, that's fair. What if you go straight Surf in that matchup?
Oh, do they not outpace you? Oh wait, baiting on. Sorry, baiting off. Well, Surf only does 36%, so.
Plus hexes though. Yeah, I mean you'd still need to land two. So I imagine like a 2-shield situation, you could go straight Surf.
Yeah, you can 2-shield Surf through them.
So that's something.
It's super close.
Yeah,
so like if they have any extra energy, they're also baiting you here. But like it's a pretty good bait, I would say. Like the ghosts like the shield. Big moves. Yeah, Houndstone seems fun. Maybe for like a fun pick. It doesn't seem that bad. But its stat product is not the worst either, 1857.
I'm just looking for a reason to put that above other ghosts. Skeledirge is interesting. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, A-Hulks. It's, like, you're already beating poison types. So, like, so there's the carving matchup. But didn't it say it loses to carving? Still?
Yeah, it says it loses here.
No,
Dig does.
No, this is Palisand, hang on.
Houndstone loses to it. Just barely.
Hydreigon versus level 50 Binky.
But if you got a bait off here, if you are successfully able to bait, they still win. Apparently.
And like, when are they ever going to shield the first move?
I mean, it's a dig, right? Oh, there's a rock throw breakpoint to keep in mind too. There is no lick breakpoint. But if you have a higher attack Houndstone, you can win that. It's just something to consider. It looks fun, at least if you want to try out one of the new Pokemon. It doesn't look horrible, right? It has some coverage, just other than dark types, which you get destroyed by. What about Goldango? What the heck was that?
Oh, the Lachlan. Was that you? Yeah, he's there.
What are the typings again that's specifically allowed
so
here?
It's poison, poison, ghost, dark, bug, and something else. And fairy. Just quickly turning off this this timer.
Yeah, so I think we covered a lot of it. So Clefable is here at 80. Does have like some decent key wins, I would say. It doesn't look horrible. But
I've had a few people mention Fortress. Number 15.
Let's look at steel types.
Yeah, okay, all steel types.
Fortress is 15.
It's the second highest ranked steel type in the meta. Does it have any weird moves that you could do? Mirror Shot and Heavy Slam.
Yeah,
so
it has
how
Heavy
does
Slam.
it go against Carbink with Heavy Slam?
It's barely beating Carbink right now on the one shield.
So that's with resisted bug bites and then landing an earthquake. Mirror Shot does 25%. That's pretty good. For such a weak move.
I wonder if you can get like a debuff here. You can go straight Mirror Shot and win the zeros.
Wow.
And like if you get a debuff here on the first one, it's like way better for you. It's what is it? It's a 10% chance on that Mirror Shot, or is it 30%?
I don't know. It is 30.
Mirror Shot is 30. It's such a bad move though. 35 energy for 35 damage.
Just going straight Mirror Shot. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the downside of Heavy Slam is the energy, right? And the fact that Bug Bite is so slow. But in terms of like damage, you're like 50 energy, but you're doing 70 damage. So
yeah,
it's
so
definitely
that's
a
not
much better move. Well, it's better than Mirror Shot.
But you've got the bait potential of Mirror Shot.
True.
So I'd be happy to pair Mirror Shot with Earthquake.
I think I'd still rather have Sizer or Poniard as a steel type over Fortress, but it's definitely very interesting.
I do like the extra bulk of Fortress.
Yeah, stat product 20, 29, pretty decent. If we sort bug types by stat product, Wormadam is the bulkiest one.
You probably wouldn't
Actually,
run
Wormadam was pretty
Confusion,
popular
though.
last. Wormadam was pretty popular last time, if I remember.
I imagine that would be Carbink too.
Says it loses to Carbink.
Really? Wow.
But you destroy a lot of the poisons, right? And you have like a decent, not amazing matchup with the Darks, but you do have the Bug Buzz, right? So you have the ability to hit them.
And I did see plenty of Bug Bite Wormadam last time.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Because of all the Dark types.
But it's only neutral against like Mandibuzz and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, Confusion's double resisted, so like it's still better against Mandibuzz. Dixon says they forgot to turn on the shiny button. They forgot to press the shiny button for Phantom.
I know some people that got. So you win the zeros pretty comfortably against Carbink.
As a Wormadam.
As a Wormadam. So, but it seems like they can muscle their way through you if they want to. Because you need two moves to kill, like 2 Iron Heads.
Yeah.
And the Confusions don't quite do enough damage. Like, they have 2. This is a high rank one. Oh, 2 HP, but maybe, yeah, if they have a shittier Carbink, you can win the 2 shield as well.
And, like, not many people would have a rank 1 Carbink. Like, what did you plug in? A rank 16? Like, that's
So this is default.
That's
this is
okay,
rank
default.
16.
Yeah, that's a lot more reasonable.
I feel like 6. This is not good. What's the one that I have? Let me see here. The one that I'm gonna build possibly is.
So this is a bit of an issue with Sizor, is that you're losing the ones against Azumarill.
Yeah, but it's super close matchup. Like you put in a lot of work there.
But let's check out Fortress in that one. That is a bare win in the ones. A bit more comfortable in the 0s and 2s.
Apparently the Carbink I have barely beats a high stat product Wormadam. But if you have yeah, it's probably favorable for Wormadam, I'd say, in the 0s and the 2s most likely. Most people probably don't have a rank 1 Wormadam either. Considering that one, you need was it a male or a female? I don't even remember.
The Wormadam? Yeah, that's a female.
To evolve it, right?
Yeah. I've got a pretty high rank 1. I think I've got like rank 2.
Boofer.
Be more impressed, Lyle.
Boof City! Definitely. Surely.
I
GG
was
Fish.
Anyway.
He was wrong. It's not a rank 2,
was.
it's a rank 200. It's a rank 200.
I got a rank 24 Wormadam Grass.
Oh, right, the best one. Right. Right. So we didn't talk much about some of the dark poisons types.
No, we haven't. Yeah, there's a lot of options here in this cup. Like, it's always been a really good cup, I feel.
Yeah. So if you want to specifically look at dark and poison types, like the top of the list is the Quillfish according to this. Which is nice. You still technically don't beat Carbink straight up, but you have a lot of play there, right? You can just jab through the Greninja though, right? If you really want to.
Yeah.
No. Oh, this is baiting. It's baiting. So they have to double bait you with Night Slashes.
And what happens if you let a Night Slash go?
Oh, then you would destroy them if you let a Night Slash go.
I don't know. I feel like it would still be pretty close.
No, apparently Greninja still wins the 2 straight Hydro, so I don't know why they have them double dating. It's not comfortable though, in my experience, as the Greninja, because those poison jabs are doing quite a lot of damage.
There's no reason to run a Alolan Marowak in this cup, is there? Like, you're basically only beating Alolan Ninetales and Venusaur.
Charger Bug you would beat.
Charger Bug wouldn't... I mean, Charger Bug wouldn't even be the worst for Charger Bug. Like, when I was running my Charger Bug lead, where I was ABA weak to fire, if I encountered a fire lead, I would just stay in with Charger Bug. Like, take out most of the fire Pokemon. And then A-Slash was pretty safe in the back.
Unless they have a Medi.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they have fire lead and Medi in the back, then GG. Yeah, I think Crunch is the better move. Because...
what?
For Charger Bug in this cup.
You need... no, you need Discharge.
I mean...
Like, you're not gonna beat the water types, like, without Discharge.
Yeah, there's like a Zoomeril, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a Zoomeril, there's Toxapex, there's, like, what other water types are there? Like, obviously you can X-Scissor. There's Jellicent, I guess you can crunch it.
Yeah. It's
there's
basically the
Tentacruel.
Oh, yep, Tentacruel. Tentacruel.
Golisopod is apparently here.
Something, I think.
Golisopod also knows Fury Cutter, something to keep in mind. But... it just seems a little glassy, I think, for this meta, and not quite like it has like a ton of play. So, oh, I think Sharpedo was the thing last time too.
How's the Greninja match up against Golisopod? That helps.
It's probably decent for Greninja. Oh, it says here. Well, it says Golisopod wins actually. Probably just because X-Scissor does.
Yeah,
X-Scissor does 88% to Greninja. So.
With the Charger Bug, like you could, like double shield and Volt Switch down, if you really want.
Yeah. Although, like a Hydra would hurt. It's like awkward because like. It just outputs so much damage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was saying, I remember last time, like, for those, like, fast move pressure teams, like the Shadow T-Tar, like, Shadow Sharpedo was a thing. Like, where they run Waterfall Sharpedo, and they just kind of, like...
Thorn points out the Greninja's just better. Just straight up better.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's better unless you want to run like Degen Waterfall teams where you like you swap a Waterfaller into something and just see how much damage the Waterfall does, right? You do get Rock thrown down by the Carbink as the Shadow Sharpedo, just FYI.
Is there a reason to run Zweilous or Guzzlord instead of Mandy or Umbreon? If you're thinking of running a Mandibuzz, for example, is there any reason why you might want to go Zweilous or Guzzlord instead?
Zweilous or Guzzlord?
Not really, is there?
Well, you do have the Dragon subtyping, which would help you against something like Greninja specifically, right? Or Jellicent, like you completely wall it. For sure, like there is definitely pros and cons. So
then I mean, other than that, I feel like it's just, you know, what you prefer, what you feel more comfortable with, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, you do beat Umbreon and Mandibuzz with Guzzlord, so
Oh,
there is
yeah,
that
yeah.
too, right? Like you you have some better matchups with some like awkward other dark type. You basically beat other dark types as well with Guzzlord for the most part, which is really nice. I'm just looking here at some of the other picks in case we miss anything. One thing that did jump out at me, number 16 here, is Swalot.
Swalot, yes. With Mudshot now.
Like, you beat a lot of the poison types. Obviously, you get walled by Toxapex, but you still beat it because of Mudshot, I guess.
It's got Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb. Would you run X Scissor?
I don't think it has X Scissor.
Doesn't it?
It has Gunk Shot, Acid Spray, Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb.
That's weird.
You would never run Infestation or Rock Smash because they both suck compared to Mudshot. It's interesting. I think if it had another charge move, it would be a lot better. Like some sort of coverage move. I don't know what that would be. Like Body Slam or something would kind of like be really nice, but...
So Ahot says you do better versus the bugs with Mandy. I just want to quickly check how much bug damage is actually going around.
Well, Sizer, like I think you probably do better against Sizer and stuff with Mandy,
and then
because you have Snarl. Yeah. You have Snarl as a fast move, like the Steel types specifically, Pawnyard, things like that. Like so there is like give and take. It depends what your team's weak to, what you need coverage for.
So the Steel bugs, Mandy's definitely doing better there. Beedrill, yeah.
Escavalier is around.
Charger bug, you prefer the dragons for? But yeah, I think everything else. Yeah, everything else you prefer, Mandy. Wow, Escavalier loses to Carving. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Well, it's neutral damage, right?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. You would have just hoped that a drill run user would have the upper hand there.
Rock Slide does more percentage points than a drill run.
Yeah, well, that's so dumb. If
you
the Escavalier was just a little bit bulkier, I think it would be so good.
Yeah, it's pretty glassy is the issue, right?
Yeah, it's not that Escavalier is bad, it's just Bink is just way too good. Crustle, I've seen, that involved in smack hole teams.
Yeah, a team that I did run like last time this cup was around was like Escavalier, Galv, and like Mandibuzz was like a team that I was using. Another team was Mandibuzz, Shadow Sizer, and Toxapex. So I think both teams are pretty interesting to consider. You probably can change some pieces out, but
Fury Cutter X is a Magnet Bomb.
I don't have a Genesect, so for Great League.
Oh, so no need to talk about it then.
Yeah, fuck Genesect. Only you have to be playing at like a very specific amount of time to get the Great League Genesect. I mean, I'm not like that worried about it. It's not like a massive core breaker for anything. Basically, I think Sizer's just better, right? Like if you're gonna run a bug, or even Fortress, as you're saying, like there's other bug steel types, right? Why would you run Genesect?
I guess it was mainly the Magnet Bomb that drew my attention.
Yeah, you also have Technoblast Normal, which hits hard, but it's even glassier than Escavalier. Well, regular Genesect doesn't have any drives on it, so its Technoblast is normal.
Tentacruel. We haven't looked at that yet. Poison Jab.
It's similar to, right, Toxapex. Just less bulky with a little bit more versatility, I guess.
Firepower. Yeah, it's a bit more balanced. It loses
You have
2
options. You can run Acid Spray. You could run Blizzard. You can run Sludge Wave, I guess. Probably you want...
With Blizzard, you'd beat your Mandibuzz.
Yeah, Blizzard would help
with Sludge Wave.
Yeah, I would say probably Acid Spray.
Acid Spray, yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you beat Greninja pretty well. It's like a setup Pokemon too. Like, unlike Toxapex, like you do have that Acid Spray, so you can always like Acid Spray things just to help your other Pokemon deal with them a little better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is always nice. Something to consider.
Yeah. Golbat rated number 1 as a lead. That's curious. Obstagoon and Galarian Lanoon.
Golbat's also number 1 for Switch to Shadow Golbat is.
Yeah. Interesting. Golbat's looking alright. Just, you've got to make sure you've got 2 Carbink counters.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the Dark Poisons are pretty high here too as a safe swap. Like Overquill, Drapion, like with a bit of energy, they're saying like these poison types put in a lot of work. Like Toxapex is super annoying. That's why I think you will start seeing like Confusion, Wormadam, and stuff like that. Just to counter things that are popular, right? So like Confusion, Wormadam like destroys Toxapex. And then if you see a lot of Carbink, you're gonna see a lot of what actually beats it, like Nidoqueen maybe, right? And what beats that? It's the Confusion Wormadam, right?
Mm-hmm. So we're kind of consolidating this meta down into the general circle of what's beating what. You got your Steel Bugs. If we were to break it down into your roles, you got your Steel Bugs. You could basically lump Mandibuzz, Umbreon's, Wireless, and Guzzlord into one group. You've got Carbink, which is a group of its own. You got your ground type attackers, I guess. Because ground type's been our biggest... Ground and steel are the 2 things we've been looking at most to deal with the Carbink. And then
you need to resist, because we already saw that like there's a lot of neutral matchups, well at least neutral fast move matchups that Carbink can kind of muscle through, like against some of the bugs, the other steel types and stuff, just because it's so bulky, right? So like if you can resist that rock throw, you're in like kind of a good spot, right? How do you like Golbat though? Now that I'm looking at it, it seems like it has good coverage in general. Like, and you have ability to like versus a Carbink. Let's say Shadow Ball does do 30% from Shadow Golbat, so like you do lose that matchup, but you do have the ability to maybe play around with energy or something.
A couple of people in chat talking about Galarian Lanoon, and I'm looking at it, and it's looking pretty interesting. Like, it does have the dig, which it can take on Carbink. It's still a loss, but I mean, it's got the weapon against it. It takes out all these poisons. It's hard winning against the Jellicent because of that triple ghost resistance. It's beating Greninja. 33-13 against the meta in the one shield. Oh, this is with an energy lead. This is
so
two
Dig
stars
does. Dig only does 31% to Carbink, so you're gonna need 3 digs basically.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Or like 2 digs and a body slam, but like shield advantage, it does really well.
Yeah.
or let's say you're up a little bit of energy. You need to be up 2 snarls to flip the ones, and that's only if you shield a Moonblast.
And like these losses aren't super like relevant losses. Like
Seems interesting.
Marwell,
I would definitely say, yeah, like any of the other fairies that aren't Carbink is definitely like going to be a little more difficult for it.
But then you do have the dig to hit the Marwell.
It's kind of like a shittier Umbreon, but with a little better coverage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No fast move pressure is, I think, its biggest problem.
Yeah, but it does have really nice charge moves like Dig and Body Slam.
Yeah.
I definitely would consider trying it, and like that would be like if you are running like a double dark team, like that'd be a nice thing to try to bait out like a Carbink with. Like they might not know what they're getting themselves into. Like as long as you don't see a lot of fighting types, like I think it could be a good safe swap as long as we don't start seeing like a lot of fighting types, right?
And there's really not much fighting
type
damage.
Toxicroak.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Sneasler with close combat.
Mawile has a power-up punch. Bro, like I swear to God, there's gonna be some power-up punch Ironhead Mawiles out there. Nidoqueen has double kick.
Nidoking.
Double kick.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Incineroar has double kick as well. Don't know if it's that good, but it like a lot of the good Pokemon. It seems like water's like a really good subtyping in this cup, right?
You think?
Which, I mean, look at the rankings. A lot of the top Pokemon are water or poison types, right?
Yeah, there's a few.
Like if we just look water here, like 4, 5, 6, all are water. Then down lower you have more water types that are just similar but not quite as good.
Fighting, do you agree with this statement? It seems like fighting is a decent weakness to expose your team if you had to pick one.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like being weak to fighting is not the end of the world. Although, like I said, there's also Escav. So I would say like Escav and Toxicroak are the two most common things. And I did run Escavalier last time in this cup, and it was pretty good for me, which I don't know if it's quite as good these days, but definitely something to consider. I mean, you can definitely try it. I think that's a good calculated risk to take, especially early on based on the meta. But you have to see how it develops, right? Like, if a lot of people are weak to fighting, even though there's only a couple fighters, then you're going to start seeing more Toxicroak and Escav just because they're going to have such dominant matchups, right?
Yeah.
So.
One more mon I want to...
And Toxicroak beats the Carving too, right?
It does. It's not pretty, but it does.
591 is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Jesus, not just straight rock slide. Holy shit.
Right. So if it lands a Moonblast, you're done. Plus
it does 61%. Yeah, you can still tank one, but it's a pretty solid matchup for Toxicroak. So I would say definitely you might see some Toxicroak, but then again, you get kind of destroyed by the Golbat and things like that. So we'll have to see how it shakes out.
So there's a little bit of RPS going on.
Yeah.
As well. Which
they're always
getting a Carbink meta.
You're gonna get every once in a while. Like I did say though, I think Carbink does look fairly flexible. So
yeah.
I would say if there's a time to use it that's not RPS, this seems like one of the better times.
Quickly want to take a look at Wheezing. Ranked to number 14. It's recommending Sludge and Overheat. It's obviously beating all your ices and your steals. With Sludge, it says it's beating Azumarill, and it's also beating Greninja, weirdly.
Really?
Yeah, it's Fairy losing to Mandibuzz, which is disgusting. And Umbreon as well.
Sludge is a really bad move.
It is. It's got a 25-20 win rate against the Halloween Cup meta. With that moveset. What if you're running Brutal Swing? I mean, is there a reason to run Brutal Swing? Are there situations where Brutal Swing is doing more damage than Sludge, even if the effectiveness is different?
I think you want that neutral. I think Sludge seems like it's a pretty neutral move. I guess you do get walled by it. I just find, like, the thing with Weezing, sometimes, like, no matter what you're running, you're going to get completely walled by something. So,
yeah. Charge damage 65. Sludge with same type of attack bonus. So Sludge is only doing 5 less damage after you account for stab than what Brutal Swing does.
So it's not that much worse.
Yeah. And then if it's super effective, 96 damage versus the neutral non-stab, yeah, it's 65. 78 if it... Oh, no, hang on. Super effective 104.
Okay.
Yeah, so a neutral Brutal Swing is not as good as a super effective Sludge.
For sure, for sure.
And so there are some things that you'd want to hit the Sludge with, but basically your fairies.
And Greninja.
Like, and yeah, the Greninja, you're doing better with Sludge than Brutal Swing. So you could probably, like, with, I guess Greninja, you wouldn't need to nuke that. You could just go straight Fairy Winds and Sludges, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, Fairy Wind are probably doing quite a bit of damage there. It's a 526 battle rating in the ones. It's not amazing, but you do win it. Sludge does do 40%, which is respectable. Overheat does 54%, so...
To... Oh,
Greninja.
The Greninja. That's not as much as I'd want it to be honest.
You don't want a resisted charge move, non-stab charge move to do half health?
Against a thing that's made of tissue paper, and Overheat being such a powerful move, even resisted, I would have wanted it to do, like, I don't know, 70, 80.
What? You're crazy, dude.
Clearly.
Yeah, from a K9 and Overheat would do that much.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it does 75% from a Shadow K9. But this is a non-stab, non-Shadow Galarian Weezing. Like, you need to slow your roll a little bit. But, okay, I think it's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Looks like we've covered most of it, and I have a lot of tabs open here.
I can see that. Look at that. So, for those who might be here that missed some of this, going to be working on a 6-minute summary of this meta this afternoon, my time, so it might come out overnight for the Americans or just as the Europeans waking up. It's gonna be tough to kind of summarize this in a very succinct way. I saw on Twitter Steve, PvP Steve, was like, nah, I can't do it. I'll be back for the next meta.
He didn't have time, he said.
Yeah, I think he also mentioned that it's super complicated as well.
Is it?
I may be imagining that.
Should I build my Carbank for this meta?
Yeah. Do it. I mean, you're gonna build one sooner or later, right?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna build it eventually just to like test out and have, right? Like I have a Basti build.
Mm-hmm.
I have I built the Basti. You know, the most time I ever got use out of that thing was when it's the best Mon, right? No, sorry. um, I literally got the most use out of Basti in factions when we were scrimming versus opponents. When I was helping my teammate, because our open Great League people, for some reason, their opponents kept bringing Basti, and I'm like, well, I have a Basti, so I can scrim you. But I literally like never use the thing. The only time I use that is when I'm doing like friendly battles with people for fun, and I just want to like piss them off. I'll just like hide like a Basti somewhere.
Where was the drop-off point for Basti? Like, what was the moment that Basti, the community collectively decided, oh yeah, Basti ain't all that?
What do you mean?
So there was a time where we were talking about Basti in the same way we talk about carving now. Like, Basti is the top Pokemon. You've got to worry about Bastiodon. That like everything is built around Bastiodon. This is what you got to worry about the most. And now, more often than not, we're like, oh yeah, Basti is like not that great.
Well, it's still good, but I think Shadow Sandslash core broke a lot of the Basti teams.
That could be it, yeah.
and made it a lot more difficult to use because like a lot of the, if you think about a lot of the Basti teams, like there was like you had Basti and you're like usually they're weak to other steel types or they would have like a grass type because they're weak to ground, right? And then Sandslash just kind of like core broke that potentially, right?
And probably also Nidoqueen back when that was better.
Yeah, Nidoqueen too was like really good into. So Clodsire will definitely be, I think, good for the meta because it will definitely be able to handle Carbink very well.
Yeah.
And you won't see as many of these like Charm, A9, Medi, Carbink backline teams when Clodsire is like a top meta Pokemon, right?
Yeah, because it'd be interesting, I think, because like a Shadow A9 will probably still be able to, like, say, build up a couple of Weather Balls and then take out a Clodsire in the end game, right?
Well, what are you going to switch to?
What do you mean? Like, what's...
You're like in that situation, you're triple weak to Clodsire, so what would you do? Switching your Metacham or something? Yeah, people are running like Charm, A9, Medi, Carbink teams. That's what I'm saying. So, like, what do you do if you lead into a Clodsire? You would just top left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the straight up the Ninetales versus the Clodsire. Like, it's not like automatically a win for the Clodsire. Like, when shields are in play, sure.
Clodsire is very bulky too. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
So, unlike Nidoqueen, I feel like unlike Nidoqueen, I feel like it's not going to be pressured to shield like a weather ball. Whereas like Nidoqueen was always like pressured to shield a weather ball.
Yeah.
Like Clodsire, I feel like we'll be able to tank a Shadow Weather Ball like no problem and not be in any fear of getting charmed down.
Yeah, totally.
So, but let's see how it goes. I hope they don't change the moveset too much. It seems like an exciting Pokemon for the new meta. So, well, what's up, Dude the Ant?
All right. So, thank you for joining us. Thanks to Lyle for constantly bringing his knowledge to the stream, bearing with me, and thanks to everyone who joined in and contributed stuff to the conversation. So
good luck on your legend push.
Yes,
if you're on that.
May the leads be in your favor.
Or the backlines.
Yes, all of those. May you have just the best team comp.
Just run Carbink and RPS opponents, and you'll make legend in no time.
Let's find someone to raid. We got Evan, we got Fleece King, we got Brown Baller, we got Final Boss AJ, a Legend Tuner, and CS8.
I'm looking here.
No, I'm not actually following its Axon yet. There's no
Evan's live? Maybe we could raid Evan since he doesn't stream that much recently, and he's only been live for about 40 minutes.
Cool.
So.
All right. 777713.
Yeah, and he's a partner streamer with BTW as well, so
Of course.
we can support the BTW people.
Oh, and a holds with a dab. Here you go. Raid Heaven 777713. What's our next stream? We got Taco Dog, I believe, will be the next streamer on Saturday night US time.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
What
Taco
about
Dog.
Vroom? Is he streaming soon, or
he is off and on at the moment because he's got some stuff going on. So like he's not going live as much as he wants to on his own channel either. So it's just a balance.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, Taco Dog, and don't forget to sign up for the Open Great League practice tournaments this weekend if you're interested.
Right. Yep, Lyle's going to be playing all three. He's going to stay up for 28 hours.
I did sign up for all three last weekend, and I only played one, so.
I saw that. All right, see ya.
Bye.